Well, today we're going to talk about energy.
Hmm.
Topic of the day, energy. What is it? We kind of know exactly what it is. If you look up in the sky, you're going to kind of recognize right away that there's this big glowing orb up there. What's the name of that? Somebody tell me, please. Raise a hand. Yes, it's called the sun. That's our first source of energy. We know
Hmm.
it's there. I mean, if you want scientifically, energy has been proven. E equals mc squared is
Okay, math
something
is
that's
not my
known.
forte,
So,
but
yeah, we're not going to debate the existence of energy. We actually recognize and acknowledge that, yes, it's here. One of the things that I think we need to acknowledge is that energy was actually here well before us.
hmm
Energy is primal. In fact, if you look at the first law of thermodynamics, it says energy is neither created nor
nor
destroyed.
destroyed.
So if something is neither created nor destroyed, that means it was always ever existing. It is eternal. If that is what energy is, then that's
Hmm.
the source of what we want to try and examine. We're also going to go a little bit into chi, which is our life force.
Hmm.
But before we jump into
Which
chi,
I'm still learning more about that.
Marcy, you want to say anything about energy yourself?
Well, energy, I mean, around the people that I know and I speak to, energy is a big deal amongst being around negative people, family, work environment, trying not to react to it. Energy is also a big deal when it comes to your ability for your instincts or to sense paranormal or anything spiritual within you, meditation, calming you down, quieting your mind. It's a huge big deal. It's obviously a foundation for everything this is laid on.
Yeah, as we always say, everything goes back to energy. Back to the chi for a second. Again, chi is that life force, that spark, whatever you want to identify it. Chi is actually the identification from ancient Eastern philosophy, uh, but it's called it's called other things. It's
You're
called
so
other things.
specific,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, we like to make
No,
sure.
I
We like to
know.
make sure.
I told you it's
But
very factual
we're
and it's wonderful.
we're going to go into that chi energy and how to harness that energy.
Mhm.
We're also going to go into a bit of actually moving that energy around. And
Yes,
we're going to do
that
some
takes
qigong.
practice.
Qigong is a form of Tai Chi and yoga mixed together. Really, really fun stuff to do, but it helps to re-energize you and it helps to actually move your energy throughout your chakras to make sure that you're keeping a
The
positive
chakras
flow
are a whole nother
and a positive
podcast as
balance.
well.
The last thing I think we're going to talk about is vibration. Naturally, of course, energy impacts everything.
Everything.
You either absorb, or an object either absorbs the energy, or it reverberates it back, so it bounces back. So
Mhm.
energy will hit something like a rock, and part of that energy will be absorbed by the rock, because rock is a mineral, as well as
Minerals are
reflected
huge,
black.
yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why minerals are very powerful in the
Extremely.
energy field. Stones, same thing. Gems,
Crystals,
same thing.
yep.
Crystals, all of that. All of that is those are minerals. Metal is also another one of those. So these things absorb that energy, and some of it gets bounced back. That vibration is what we're talking about. That gets emitted off. And again, everything will vibrate. Everything that is alive actually draws in the energy. So by alive, I mean literally, an animal or a plant. The planet. Don't think our Earth is not alive. It is. It's a living thing. If it were not, we would not be able to sustain ourselves from it. So, last thing we're going to try and go into a little bit of, and this is going into with everything that we're going to be doing over the next 8 or 9 episodes of the series that we want to do on positive energy, is going to be a different approaches. Specifically myself, I like the Eastern philosophy. I always like to go back to the source, so you take it back to the beginning.
And I kind of trust my inner gut.
And
my
there we
instincts.
go. But I'm also into a lot of philosophical stuff as well. I like the Western classics. If you'll notice, the Socratic method is one of the things that I typically like to use in my examination of things. So, we'll go into that, but we'll also go into some of the Hindic stuff. We'll go into a lot of the Buddhic stuff. We're going to go into some of the Egyptian Hermetic sciences. We're going to go into Kundalini. Hopefully some of you get that Kundalini rising experience and get an awakening yourselves. We're going to go into a lot. We're going to bring in some guests on meditation, on yoga, on Reiki. We're going to go into some Qigong. It's going to be a very interesting series. of episodes for the Positive Energy
Mhm.
Podcast with Marcy Kelly. So, make sure you keep tuning in. Marcy, I think you want to add anything more? Some more about what we can expect from the
Well, I think
experiential side?
yeah, I mean, clearly there's paranormal, but I also think that there's a lot of energy being drained by each and every one of us regarding stressful situations, things that are out of our control that we have to learn to kind of let go.
Mhm.
Family
Mhm.
clearly can bring a lot of stress. Work as well, as I
Mhm.
was talking about, and of course, based down to your own spiritual health and well-being. It just impacts it so much. I mean, you don't need the stress, you don't need the negative space. You have to kind of clear your mind of all that, and it takes time, it takes practice. As for the paranormal things, you know, depending on what conversations come up, you know, I'll find what is relevant, an experience that I had, and I'm sure you guys, actually I already know there's a few of you guys that already had experiences, and we totally want to hear about it, because
I definitely want to hear.
not every experience I had is the same by any means. It's like a snowflake. Every one of them has been, quite frankly, different. Yeah, that's why we're so positive and, you know, always trying to emit that to other people, because, you know, there's so much stress in this world and there's so much negativity, and you really can create your own space, and you don't have to be around it. You don't have to entertain it. And it's wonderful to be able to do so.
Alrighty, so make sure you tune in Tuesdays. We're going to keep going. This is our Positive Energy Podcast, episode 1. It's really our intro, just to
Yes,
give you an
really our
overview
intro.
of everything that we're going to be doing over the next 8 or 9 episodes. We're going to also be bringing in, like I said, some guests, as
Mhm.
well as hearing back from you, your feedback that you give
Mhm.
us on Facebook, the feedback that you give us on the other social media platforms. That's going to give us the content that we need to talk about when it comes to applying this to the 3 spheres.
I mean, and there's so many, to reinforce it, there's so many professions that can aid in this, whether it's interior design, whether it's destinations and travel agents, places that, you know, feed your energy and the positivity. Not only, like he was saying, the exercises, just your mindset in general. There's so many, you know, industries and professionals there that can really help with that.
Everything's going to go back to energy, and it's
Mhm.
always going to be applicable to those 3 spheres. So even when we talk about the meditation, the yoga, and the qigong, and all of that stuff, that's still going to be applicable, especially when it comes to stress management.
Yes,
One thing we know about stress, it's a natural part of life.
definitely.
So if it's a natural part of life, it makes sense to just simply learn how to manage it.
And let it
in your
go.
life. Okay? So
Absolutely.
let's look forward to tuning in.
Mhm.
We'll
Until
talk
next
to you
time.
Tuesday. Love, light, energy.
Bye. Love, light, energy.